3-minute clip, so I'm just gonna film it for a YouTube video and maybe upload clips of it onto TikTok or whatever. But I just wanted to get on here and talk about free will, talk about a choice you can make to become separate from who you think you are and who you know yourself to be. If you want to make that change, I thought that this might. I've gained this knowledge over the past couple of days, and I thought knowledge is best to be shared. Might help some of you. Some of you may already know it, but this helped me a lot. So yeah. So if you haven't figured out by now, the system we're in is working against us, and that's a given by now. Move this, sorry. And that's a given by now. So one of the biggest ways I've realised the system works against us is by creating this idea of self and this identity for us individually throughout our lives. You grow up and then once you get older, you associate all these attributes you've gained throughout life as being you. And you reaffirm this every morning you wake up and you go to your Instagram, your TikTok, your social media, whatever, and you look at who you were yesterday, the week before, the year before, whatever, and that reaffirms who you think you are in your mind. And it's more than just social media. Even if you don't use social media, you've still got this idea of self in your mind, idea of who you think you are and who you was the day before, and how that will make you today, the person you are today, person you are tomorrow. It's things like routine, things like thought patterns, just like it makes your life predictable. Works, it makes your life predictable. You go to work every day, you work the same job, same room, same desk, whatever. They've made your life so predictable that you know what to expect next, which is one of our biggest superpowers. Is that we strive of living. We strive of not knowing what's going to happen next, not knowing who we're going to be next. We strive of being able to be whatever we want in any moment. What I'm going to get into now. When you wake up in the morning, usually, I'm talking from experience anyway. You wake up and you get into this. You jump back into your usual frame of mind, usual way of thinking, usual way of who you know you are, whatever. You jump into your usual boots of who you think. Usual, you know what I mean? Your usual way of living. So you wake up and then maybe lie in bed for 10 minutes because that's what you usually do. You jump out of bed, brush your teeth, and then whatever your usual thing is. It's mainly the mindset you jump into in the morning that I want to talk about. It's a limiting box of self that you put yourself in each morning. When you wake up in the morning, instead of jumping into that usual self you know yourself to be, the predictable self you know yourself to be, you can instead, before you even think about anything, before you can even fathom who you are, what the system has made you to be, you can make the choice before any of that to be what you want to be that day. So for example, I'll use myself as an example for what I've gone through. I woke up every day feeling anxious, very, very anxious about how other people perceive me, how I perceive the world, how daunting the world is itself. And this is because there's many reasons as to why I was anxious. But I'm going to tell you how I overcame the anxiousness. So you can choose in the morning, instead of jumping back into the mind state you usually jump in where you're anxious, the attributes you consume every morning, you can, before any of that takes place, you can make the choice to say, I'm happy, which is what I did. I made the choice to, before I jumped in any of it, I said to myself, I'm happy. I woke up happy. The feeling of happiness, I let it take over my body, and I made a decision within myself, not my thoughts, not my body. I made a decision within myself. My soul made a decision to be happy that morning. And because I made that decision without any correlation with my thoughts, I was watching it back, and I just wanted to add in that you, once you make this choice, you are aware that you have say over your thoughts. You can make the decision, and this makes you separate from your thoughts, because you then realize that no matter what your thoughts are telling you, you within you can still make a choice. You can overpower your thoughts of who you think you are, and make a choice to. This is the important of the choice. You have the choice shows that you are more than your thoughts of who you think you are. You have choice over them. Without any, despite of my thoughts, I made the decision to do that. It's why I always write. Well, I always write something, a message on my hand, but as a week I've been writing, I am happy because I choose to be, regardless of my thoughts. Once you make that choice, you become aware that you're separate from your thoughts. You become aware you're separate from your body. You're the awareness of your thoughts, and you're in control of your body. So it creates a separation, because most people, or at least from my experience, we go day to day living in a sort of, in a way of living where we think and we assume that's you. You assume the voice in your head is just you, and that determines who you are, how your days go, that's predictable. Because every day you're going to be thinking the same sort of shit, basically, most of the time. The important stuff, at least, like how your day is going to go, what you can predict, what you can expect in your day, what you can expect to bring to the table that day, what you can expect to be as a person that day. And that in itself is a limitation on your power. That puts you in a box of limitations, basically. It limits what you're capable of doing and what you can actually do. If you make the choice to be separate from what it is you think you are, transcend anything you already are, basically, and you become literally anything you want to be. May sound mind-boggling, but I promise you, if you dedicate a few days a few hours, minutes basically in the morning, and that will transcend throughout the day. All it takes is those few minutes in the morning where you don't jump into your usual way of thinking, don't jump into your usual self, what you know yourself to be, your usual mindset. Don't allow yourself to become who you was yesterday. You instead just make the choice to be what you want to be that day. The easiest one, I just say, I choose to be happy despite my thoughts, basically. So I wake up in the morning, and regardless of what my thoughts think I am, or what my thoughts think it's going to turn out today, whatever, I make the choice within me to be happy. And you'll notice once you start doing this, and you have to embody that happiness throughout the day. Throughout the first few days, your mind may tell you that you're not happy. You'll get the feeling, your thoughts will tell you you're not happy, and that will result in you getting the feeling that you're not happy. But you have to push past that that boundary, because what I've noticed is a lot of intrusive thoughts you get are literally just products of fear of what has happened, and as a result of that are making fear of what could happen, thus putting you in the box again. So you can choose not to give in to that and be pretty much whatever the hell you want to be in whatever given moment in time. Damn, that cat just climbed the tree. But yeah. So once you do this, you become aware you're separated from your thoughts, you're separated from your body. But once you do that, and each morning you do it, you start producing more creative thoughts, more because you will become aware that you're not the limitation of what you have been. You're now whatever you want to be. You can be anything at any moment. For example, now, like I've always wanted to play guitar. I've always wanted to make a YouTube video, which I'm doing now, and literally, because I started making this choice in the morning, I can without limitation, I can just do those things because I'm not scared to. I'm not afraid to. I don't have the anxiety of what could happen if I do these things. There's no limitation on it, and now I feel it's like a weight off your shoulders. It's like you've broken the chains out of your mind. The system has put chains over your mind, and it's like you just break away from all those chains. There's many ways you can gain this knowledge. If this isn't giving you the insight you need, maybe it's different for everyone, in it, different strokes for different folks, but there's no timeline on life on how you experience these things. In God knows how long, mainly because of this, because of I didn't want to give in to my idea of who I was on social media, the idea of the box of social media that I could go on my Instagram and TikTok and see who I was, and then that's the limit of who I am or who I wanted to create a separation from that and create my own idea of self. But the idea of self is literally just part of your imagination. Your idea of who you are is all up here, and you can choose what you want it to be. Yeah, what else? So another thing, once you make this decision and this choice, I call it the big choice, the choice you make in the morning, because it sets you up for the whole day. You either live in the shoes you were yesterday, or you create your own new shoes of who you want to be. Once you make this choice and you become aware and you have this, first, I was talking about that before actually. There's many ways you can gain this knowledge if you don't find it insightful, what I've said, because everyone's got their own timeline on life. The best way I find, and I know it may sound absurd to some of you, but the best way I find is asking for clarity or awareness from the universe. I personally believe in the universe. You can ask whoever you want for clarity. You can ask your God, you can ask yourself, you can ask, just put it out there, basically. Put the words out there, say it, and ask whoever you want to ask. It's the universe. So when you ask for that clarity, that knowledge will be given to you when you need it. You just have to ask for it, and you have to be ready to be able to be aware of it when it comes into you, when it's given to you. The knowledge is given to you. You have to be able to be aware of it, that's given to you, and it's not just like any little thing, because it will give you that clarity you need. Before that, so when you make this choice in the morning, the big choice, you will then, maybe it may take a couple of days to adjust your brain to it and start but you have to stick to it. You can't let your mind take over. You can't let your thoughts, intrusive thoughts, take over. You have to be able to become separate from them and know what thoughts you want to give your energy to, what thoughts you want to manifest into reality. Because whatever thoughts you give your energy, you manifest them into reality. If you say, for example, think you're scared of what other people think of you, for example, and you give that thought will come into your mind undoubtedly, because that's the way the mind works. But you have the choice whether to give that thought your energy, your attention, and your energy and your attention, basically. And if you give it that energy and attention, it then manifests and becomes something more. Once it's come, that second when it comes into your mind, it's nothing. It's the second you give it your energy and your attention, it becomes something more, and it manifests into reality. Which is why you have the ability to not, burp, give certain thoughts, negative thoughts in particular, your energy. And so you basically have like a 90-second window. I've done research and they say it's like 90 seconds. For me, if I don't give it my energy and my attention, I can just say blocked, out of my mind, whack it away once it's come into my mind. So I usually have like 10-15 seconds where it may linger a bit. The intrusive thought of the negative, of whatever negative emotion or negative feeling, whatever. And I can say, no, I'm not giving that my attention, my energy. And I'll then think of something positive instead to replace it. Which is why I have my journal. I write a lot of positive affirmations or whatever it may be that helps you. I find that best. So you can have these words, these things you say to yourself when you get a negative thought that may help rebound the negative one and replace it with something positive. But yeah, once you make this choice, you will start living in the now, and it will become so clear to you that you've been living constantly, because you've been living in here. You have been living in either the past or the future, or both. And that stops you from living in the now, which is the main source of your power as well. That's another one of our superpowers, being able to live in the now. It comes hand in hand with the free will that you gain from this. Once you be able to live in the now, you will have no obstruction of what you can and can't do. You will want to do something and you can do it. There is no limitation on it. Hold on. I can dive into this for hours, but I just thought I'd give you like a quick rundown of it. I can go into detail if anyone wants more detail. But yeah, that sort of explains as well why I haven't been posting at all on any social media. So I hope that gives you some clarity as to why. Because I don't really want to give into the idea of who I think I am. I want to create who I am each day and each moment that goes by. Social media is a dangerous place. You can get yourself lost in it. You can create something that's not real in it. And that's one of the biggest traps the system has a lot of people in. I'd say my advice to a lot of people is just give yourself a long break from social media, man. Not even just your phone. The littlest thing as to watching a YouTube video, like, I understand if it's educational or whatever, but the smallest thing of just watching a YouTube video because it's part of your routine at dinner can drop you back into your old mindset. So, but yeah, particularly is Instagram and TikTok and all those ones where you have to create a self-image of yourself and then project it out there onto the world. It's just a silly thing. I understand it's part of the times now, but it creates a lot of anxiety. Even just looking at other people's lives creates a lot of anxiety for you. Can lead to depression. It all plays into it. So yeah, just be careful what you're consuming each day. Most of the and when I was addicted to my phone, and that's what it is. It is an addiction. But no, people don't want to come to terms with that. But it is an addiction. It's a very, very addictive thing. It's probably one of the biggest addictions, which stems off into the identity thing, which is also an addiction. When you're constantly consuming your own identity of who you think you are, and who others think you are, whatever. But yeah, social media is an addiction. Oh, I lost my point now. Maybe I'll update it later. But yeah, that's pretty much all I wanted to say for the moment. Was I talking about like having when you're consuming the same social media, whatever, every day, it becomes an addiction, and the phone starts thinking for you. Prince once said, "Get on the phone, don't let the phone get on you," or "Get on the computer, don't let the computer get on you." "Get on the internet, don't let the internet get on you," so on and so forth. And that's something you should live by, because the phone, the more you go on your phone, the more you consume on your phone, the more it becomes what you think up here. It goes back to this thing, the system creating your identity for you. It becomes predictable. It's creating a whole state of mind for you, rather than letting you think for yourself. Yeah, that's probably the last point I'll touch on, because it's gone quite long now. But yeah.